Hi everybody! In this video, I'm going to give a brief instruction on how to cast on and knit the rib stitch, which consists of one knit stitch and one purl stitch repeated over an even pattern. To begin our process, we're first going to create a small slip knot in our yarn. Generally, if you're working with a pattern, you're going to want to make sure that you reserve as much yarn as needed in the tail to be able to cast on as many stitches as you'll be working with. Due to the fact that this is a demonstration, I'll only be casting on 10, and so I'm going to keep the tail quite short. So to start, we're going to wrap our yarn around our index finger like so, move our thumb through, and then grab onto our yarn, and then tighten slightly. We're then going to move our yarn onto our needle, and then tighten just enough that your yarn can still move around on the needle, but it's not so tight that you can't get another needle in through. So to cast on, we're going to take our thumb and our index finger. We're going to move them between our two pieces of yarn, like so. And then with our middle finger and our ring finger, we're going to grab on to that yarn from below. It's going to look something like that. And then we're going to rotate our hand up like this and begin casting on. So we have, as you can see, a few strands of yarn going between the thumb and the index. We are going to take the tip of our needle, scoop underneath the yarn on our thumb, over the yarn on our index finger and under, and then through the loop, and then tighten. Not so tight that you won't be able to move it later, and then repeat the process. Under, over, under, through the loop, and tighten. Under, over, under, through the loop, and tighten until we have as many stitches as we need for our pattern. You can count if you ever lose track. And one more. All right. And there we have our cast on. I've done 10 stitches, and now we can move on to actually knitting. Okay, as you can see, I've gone ahead and worked the pattern over a few rows just to showcase what it will look like when it's completed. To create this pattern, we're first going to take our working needle, that's the needle in your dominant hand, slide it through the back of our first stitch, take our working yarn, which is the yarn directly connected to your yarn ball, wrap that over the needle that you've slipped through your loop, bring it back through, making sure to keep that yarn that we slid over, take it off the needle and onto the second. That was a knit stitch. Now, to purl, we're going to bring our working yarn from the back to the front. We're going to take our needle through the front of the loop, wrap our working yarn over the needle, bring it back through the loop, keeping that yarn just like before, and sliding off the first needle. And that's a purl. You're just going to continue the pattern of knit and purl until you've worked through every stitch on the needle. And as you practice this, you will get faster and faster. I have not done any knitting in a little while, so I'm not too fast at this point. I'm finishing with a purl stitch. And there you have it. And you just continue that process until you have a length of knitted material that you're happy with. All right, there you go.